Manchester United are about to close one of the most important deals of this entire window. But that's not even the biggest story today, because while one deal is finishing, another one is only just beginning. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how one transfer is about to trigger 3 more decisions inside Old Trafford. Let's start with the deal that's finally done. Carlos Baleba is coming to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it. Here we go. A verbal agreement is in place between both clubs, and this didn't come easy. United sent an improved bid after Brighton rejected an initial £65 million package. Brighton said no. United didn't blink. They went again, and this time Brighton said yes. Baleba is set to join the only club he wanted. Not a backup option, not a fallback plan. United were his first choice, and now it's happening. Here's where it gets interesting though. Ben Jacobs has added context that changes how you should look at this entire deal. A year ago, Brighton were reportedly holding out for Moises Caicedo type money for Baleba. That's the kind of number that ends conversations before they even start. Caicedo went for over £100 million. If Brighton genuinely wanted that kind of fee for Baleba 12 months ago, this deal should never have happened this cheaply. But it did. 12 months ago, United were prepared to pay around £75 million for Baleba. Today, they're getting him for £5 million less. Let that sink in. A player Brighton once treated like their next Caicedo is arriving at Old Trafford for less money than United were willing to spend a full year ago. That's not just a good deal, that's a downgrade in price for an upgrade in timing. Baleba will sign a 5+1 contract subject to the usual formalities. Medical, paperwork, official announcement, all the standard steps still need to happen. But when Fabrizio Romano says, "Here we go," you know where this is heading. So why does this matter so much? Because Baleba isn't just another midfielder, he's a statement. A 21-year-old with power, mobility and the engine to cover ground that United have been desperately missing in midfield for years. This is the kind of signing that doesn't just fix a position, it changes how the whole team can be built around it. But here's the twist nobody's talking about yet. Baleba isn't the end of United's business. He's the trigger for what comes next. Because the moment that deal was agreed, Manchester United's attention shifted immediately to a completely different part of the pitch, the left-back position. And this next story, it's already getting complicated. Manchester United have stepped up their search for a new left-back, and the name at the top of that list is Barcelona's Alejandro Balde. United have held talks with Balde's camp in recent days, not just background checks, actual conversations, trying to find out whether a move is even possible and what the conditions would look like. But hold on, because this is where things stop being simple. Any hope of an easy deal has been complicated by one image. Barcelona captain Rafinha reposted a picture of himself embracing Balde after Barca's 2-1 win over Al Ahly on Wednesday. A small moment, a gesture between teammates, but timing is everything in football. That repost landed at the exact moment United's interest went public. And suddenly, it doesn't look like nothing anymore. It looks like a dressing room sending a message. We want him to stay. Here's why that matters. Balde's future has become one to watch, especially now that Barcelona have brought in João Cancelo. On paper, that should open the door for Balde to leave. In reality, it might be doing the opposite, showing Barcelona still see him as central to their plans, competition or not. United are now working out whether they can actually prize him away from the Camp Nou. And that's only half the story, because Balde isn't United's only option, not even close. Fabrizio Romano reports that alongside Balde, United are also considering Racing Santander's Jorge Salinas, Newcastle's Lewis Hall and RB Leipzig's David Raum. 4 names, 1 position, and United haven't shown their hand yet. Let's go through them because each one tells a different story. Start with Balde. Currently happy at Barcelona. United will need to do some serious convincing to pull him away from a club he's settled at. This one is a mountain to climb, not a straightforward approach. Then there's Lewis Hall, and this is the one that might surprise you. Reports now suggest Hall is very open to a move to Manchester United. Read that again. A player at Newcastle, openly receptive to walking into Old Trafford. That's not the usual language you hear around a transfer this early. That's a player who already knows what he wants. If that interest is mutual, this could move a lot faster than people expect. But then there's Jorge Salinas, and this one comes with a number attached. Manchester United have been told they'll need to pay £14 million to sign the Racing Santander left-back. United remain interested in the 19-year-old, but they're not the only ones. Atletico Madrid already tried their luck, seeing a £12 million offer rejected earlier this summer. Racing's sporting director Chema Aragon has made it clear. Salinas only leaves if his release clause is met. No negotiation, no discount. Pay the number or move on. So now Michael Carrick has a decision to make. Is a 19-year-old with sell-on value worth £14 million right now? Or does United's left-back solution lie somewhere else entirely? 4 names, 4 very different situations. One position that needs filling before the window closes. And here's the part that should worry rival clubs. United aren't rushing this. They're working through every option in parallel before committing to one. That's not indecision, that's control. But while United sort out who's coming in, there's a very different conversation happening about who might be going out, because Joshua Zirkzee's future at Manchester United is now genuinely uncertain. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, Zirkzee is keen to join Juventus or Napoli before the transfer window slams shut, 2 of Italy's biggest clubs, and Zirkzee wants in. Here's why this story has weight. Michael Carrick has reportedly decided he's open to offers for the striker. That's not a rumour about outside interest, that's the club itself signalling the door isn't locked. And Zirkzee? He's eyeing a return to Italy, the same country he left Bologna from when he first arrived at Old Trafford. Think about that for a second. A striker brought in with real excitement, now potentially heading back to where his story in England began, except this time it would end as a departure, not an arrival. Nothing is confirmed, no fee agreed, no club has won the race. But when a player is keen to leave and his own manager is open to letting him go, that's usually not a story that stays quiet for long. So here's where all of this connects, and this is the part you need to understand. Baleba strengthens the midfield, that's confirmed. That's done, subject to the usual formalities. The left-back search is now United's next priority, and it's a genuine 4-way decision between Balde, Hall, Salinas and Raum. Whoever they choose says a lot about their transfer strategy for the rest of this window. Do they chase the glamour name in Balde? Do they move fast on a player who already wants them in Hall? Or do they take a calculated gamble on value in Salinas? And in the background, Zirkzee's situation could reshape the attack entirely. If he leaves for Italy, that's not just one departure, that's a spot Carrick has to fill, potentially with the same transfer budget being stretched across 2 different needs at once. One deal in, one decision pending, one exit possibly forming. That's not a quiet window. That's a club making moves on every front at the same time. The next few days matter, because whichever left-back United choose, and whatever happens with Zirkzee, this version of Manchester United is starting to take real shape. So here's what I want to know from you. Should United go all in on chasing Balde, even with Barcelona showing no signs of letting him go easily? Would you rather see them move fast on Lewis Hall, given he's already open to the switch? And should Michael Carrick let Zirkzee leave for Italy if the right offer comes in? Drop your answers below. If you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to like, subscribe to Redbreak and turn on notifications for more Manchester United news.